I'm super fascinated by quantum physics. And I think I saw that, are you making a quantum physics class?
Yeah, I have one. Yeah, I have a workshop. Yeah.
And then like my biggest question is, what is the nature of this reality?
Yeah.
So like,
oh, it gets weird.
Great. That's what we're here for. All the weird. So I wonder, is this holographic? Is it a simulation? Is it when I'm, look at a tree, what am I really looking at? When I look at myself, what am I really?
Right.
What the hell are we dealing with here?
Okay.
Great. I'm gonna sit back.
There's a lot of different concepts and themes, right? I would say the biggest one that I believe and understand, and the way that I understand this is not because I've read any quantum physics books, and I've actually sat down with a lot of physicists, and one of my friends is actually a rocket scientist at NASA, cool. And she did my quantum, it's called the Quantum Human Workshop, and she's like, you were spot on about everything. Stop. Yeah. I'm a clairvoyant, right? Which means that I see energy, which also means that I can see things like the theory of like wave-particle duality. I believe that this reality is a simulation. And it's really tough to even just make that statement because everyone's going to perceive it a different way.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Like one of the first things that you think of when you think of a simulation, it's not real. It's not real.
Right.
And this reality is as real as the dreams that you were having last night. So when we leave this reality, we leave this incarnation, we're like, oh shit, that was just a dream. That was a pretty cool dream. And I learned a lot from it. But yeah, that was just an experience that I was having. Now, the craziest part is it's not just this planet that's a simulation. You could be a 12th dimensional extraterrestrial and leave your incarnation and go back to source and be like, oh shit, that was just a dream, right? So no matter what experience you're having in this entire universe, it's a momentary experience to help us learn and understand. So the only two things that we're ever doing as souls, no matter what incarnation you're living in, you could be a fish, you could be an alien, you could be a human, you could be a dog, you could be a tree, right? But no matter what incarnation, you are here to learn something new and clear the old energy, clear karma. So you're either bringing things into a cycle of clarity and neutrality. So you're neutralizing old energies and you're learning new things. A lot of people believe that karma just exists here on this planet, which is not the case. It exists everywhere. It's the law of cause and effect. It exists all throughout this universe. So I do believe that this is a simulation in the way that it's kind of like a video game. And there are 3 stages or 3 levels to the simulation, no matter what incarnation you're in.
Meaning incarnation on this planet? Or
anywhere.
Incarnation anywhere?
Anywhere in the universe, yeah. It is pretty widespread. So level 1 is you are the...
I somehow got very excited to win. To win. I know it's not the point, but sorry, keep going, level 1.
Okay, so level 1 is you are the character. Okay? So my character right now is Elizabeth April. That's my character. Just doing the thing, playing the role, right? Level 2 is you are the player. Okay? All of a sudden, you're able to step out of the character and you understand, oh, I'm playing this role.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm playing this character.
Yep.
It's you on the video games watching the TV screen.
It gives you the pause. It's like the observer of your life-ish.
Exactly.
That's how it feels to me when
you're
say
not
that.
in the game. You're slightly out of it, aware of playing it, which is fantastic.
Like, right, you can see dynamics, you see patterns, you see triggers. It all has like a pause to it. You're like, oh, somebody must have just, had an experience or...
And then that way, we don't take everything so personally.
Exactly.
Because this isn't it.
Okay, I feel confident I'm on level 2.
Okay, so
not all the time, but
level 3.
I know what level 2 feels like.
Yes, and there's only 3 levels.
Okay.
And what's so cool is, as such a, I don't want to say like a low-level civilization, but like, yeah, we're kind of like still very archaic, right, compared to the rest of the universe. What's so cool about this prophecy, about being this hybrid creation that we are, we get to go to level 3 here on planet Earth
Okay.
in the third dimension.
So
which is unheard of, right? And this is what makes us so special.
How come? Why can't they go there in other places? Like, why can't other civilizations do it?
Because we did not naturally evolve on planet Earth. We had help, right?
Yeah.
So that missing link was many, many different.
So many people that have talked about our DNA being spliced, and all of a sudden we learned how to do something new, and like we haven't changed for 200,000 years here, or
and then it's instant evolution. So, and because of that, we're able to have the perspective, and that's what the powers that were are the most scared of. Is level 3, is us getting to level 3.
What's level 3?
So level 3 is being the programmer.
Oh, okay. Well, what would that entail?
That would entail you are aware of the character. You are aware of the player playing the character. You step out of the role of the player, and all of a sudden you understand, I get to create my own levels. You're not playing the levels. You're not winning a game. You're creating the game.
Yeah.
So that's the simulation. So, and I believe that this is going to be proven by quantum physics if it already hasn't been, right? So the double slit experiment essentially proves that as we observe the reality around us, it essentially loads around us.
Yeah.
So anything that I can't see behind me doesn't technically exist. It's in a wave form. So all of the particles that we know aren't actually solid, right? They're all just like atoms. All these particles are all just floating around.
Right. The man that discovered it when he woke up in the morning, somebody's telling the story, didn't want to put his feet on the ground because he was afraid he'd fall through, because he had proven that nothing is solid, actually.
Exactly.
It's just energy.
And so as we observe and we look behind us, it all forms.
Exactly.
So,
like a video game.
Like a video game.
Populates.
It loads.
You populate the view.
Exactly.
Based on your experience, whatever you've seen before.
Yep. Exactly. So with that understanding, right, comes things like manifestation, law of attraction, right? The placebo effect. These are all things like mind over matter, right? These are all concepts that actually come down to science and quantum physics and can be proven by real science, which is really crazy. And so what I tell people, like my best piece of advice is get your human foundations situated first. Yes, we're here to change the world and help the planet and bring unity to, disharmony. And I get all of that. And that's a great sentiment, right? But if you're coming at that mission from a fear-based place or a survival-based place or a fight or flight-based place, saying, I can't pay my rent next month, how can you change the world? Understand that you are the creator of your reality. Create the reality that lights you up the most, and then move into mission work, and then give back to the rest of the planet when you're at a place where everything's good. Because at that place, you are in the highest vibration. You are naturally in the vibration of abundance. Then you get to emit that vibration to the world, whether you choose to act on anything or not. You're already emitting it. You're already changing the frequency of the planet just by existing in a place where you're in abundance.
So how do we become that creator? Like, how do we, I know we'll skip over 2, let's go to 3. But like, I'm curious about maybe some things that you try and do or are aware of that create.
So there's so many ways to create and manifest. All it comes down to is focus. So if you're distracted.
Like the world tries to do to you all the time.
Bingo. Social media, all of that.
All of it. Politics.
If you're caught up in your own identity, if you're caught up in your own trauma because you haven't unpacked it, guess what? You won't be able to focus on what you want to create. That's what it comes down to, is focus. So the way that I visually see it is, and I love it because I play manifestation games all the time, right? So one manifestation game that I play often, do like a creating your own reality game, is I'll think of something bizarre, just totally bizarre, totally out there, and I'll try and bring it into my universe. So the other day, I was like, okay, you know what? A basketball. I have not touched, picked up, or even thought of a basketball in years, right? So I'm like, basketball. So anytime you think about something or focus on something, the way that I visually see it is one of those transparent pieces of paper, kind of like a sketch paper, right? So you think about a basketball. Great. So you've got this transparent kind of vision in your mind. You think about a basketball again. You put another transparent paper over top. It's getting a little bit more solid. And again, and again, and again. And what happens is you pull that thing into this density because you're bringing it in from a quantum place, a mind place, and
collecting waveform, almost like.
You're collecting waveform, exactly. And then just the other day, it took me 4 days to manifest this. I was walking with the stroller, I was walking my little boy, and this kid, I was like walking by these basketball courts, and this freaking basketball rolls right over to me.
Okay. I was going to say, if you just went by, but it rolled right in front of you.
And then
so
I
picked
picked
up
it
a
up,
basketball.
And I tossed it back to him. And I'm like, haha, thank you. And I just do that for fun because it's fun to do. And it's like,
it's a reminder of how powerful it is.
Especially when you don't have an ego attachment to it.
Yeah.
So I always focus on something that I don't care about, that I don't need, because there's no blockage there.
Because you don't care, because you actually kind of let go. You kind of forget probably.
The attachment will bring it into a lower density, which is harder to manifest. Way back in the day when I was really working with like quantum physics and different timelines, and like, man, it gets really, really wild. And I was like bringing different timelines in by the same method of just focusing on it. So I'm like, I want a free cup of coffee. That's what I want. I want a free cup of coffee, whatever. It was like probably 2 weeks after I was like really focused on this, and I wrote it down, and I was like, and I didn't really care about having a free cup of coffee. I just wanted to manifest it. So I'm in line at a coffee shop, and this like older man in front of me starts chatting me up, and I'm like, oh, great. I'm thinking, he's going to buy me this like free cup of coffee, this small cup of coffee, whatever. And so he goes up. No, he didn't. He just got his own thing. I got my own thing. So I got a small cup of coffee. It was like $1.13. I shit you not. I walk out of the coffee shop, and on the ground in front of me is this pile of change. Now, I don't usually pay attention to those things or like pick them up, but I picked up the change. And as I did, I counted it. Guess what?
It's $1.13.
$1.13 exactly. So the other thing is, it may come to you in ways that are unexpected.
Sure.
That was my free cup of coffee.
Sure.
I had the cup of coffee in hand.
Well, you were thinking about getting the free coffee.